Hello and welcome to the Everything is Black and White podcast. Hope you guys are all doing well. We've got a fantastic show on the way. But first, I just want to say thanks to NORD VPN, our sponsors here at the Everything is Black and White podcast, who without none of this would be possible. And we've teamed up with them to offer our listeners and viewers an exclusive offer. You can click the link in the podcast description box or go to nordvpn.com/tune to sign up and save your pennies on a plan. It is well worth your time to sign up. You are secure, you are safe, and you're supporting the podcast. Why sign up? I hear you ask. Well, there are a host of benefits. For me, it is the value for money because one subscription can be used across 10 devices. That's your work phone, your personal phone, your tablet, what have you. 10 devices, one subscription. I mean, that is the definition of value for money. The other thing I love about it as well is the way that it keeps your details safe and secure when browsing on public Wi-Fi. So if you're on the bus, the train, you're in a cafe and you're connected to their Wi-Fi, there is always the risk that your details could be compromised. That's your bank details, your passwords, and a load of other stuff as well. But with Nord, you are safe and you are secure. And that for me means a heck of a lot. And look, if you're going abroad as well and you're missing your home comforts and you want to keep with it with all your UK streaming services, then you can click the location back to the UK and make sure you never miss your favorite program. What is not to love about it? It's absolutely fantastic. Very simple to get on board. You download the app, you sign up, and away you go. You're keeping yourself safe, you're keeping yourself secure, and you're supporting the podcast at the same time. And another benefit, and I've already mentioned three, and there are a host of other things to mention as well if we had the time. But the final thing I'm going to mention is it's a 30-day money back guarantee. So it's literally no risk. If you don't like it, get your money back. But you will like it because it's a superb app to have on your phone. Keeps you safe, keeps you secure. And once again, you're supporting the podcast. So click the link or go to nordvpn.com/tune to take advantage of an exclusive offer for our listeners and viewers of the Everything is Black and White podcast. Roll the titles. Hello, welcome back to the Everything is Black and White podcast. Time for the Mulliner and Musgrove show with me, Andrew Musgrove, and him, Sam Mulliner, coming to you slightly later this week on Sunday. Hopefully, by the time you tune into this, Newcastle United will have thumped Wolves up at St James's Park and are now preparing for their opening Champions League game against Barcelona. And that is what me and Sam are going to talk about today, the Champions League campaign to come for Newcastle United. It is a draw which I think hands Newcastle both a chance of progression, but also some new experiences. Let me just read through the opposition before I get Sam's initial thoughts on the draw course. As said there, Barcelona, then you've got Union SG, then you've got Benfica, Atletico Bilbao, Marseille, Bayer Leverkusen, PSV, and PSG. Sam, welcome back. Initial thoughts on that draw? Are you excited for the Champions League campaign to come?
Oh, of course. How can you not be? Hello. I didn't realise this was going out on Sunday. We're recording this 6 days before it comes out. What's going on there? I didn't realise you had such a full podcast schedule on International Week.
Yeah, I've got a lot of content coming out, but Sunday, nice easy listen for people on a Sunday morning as they're reading the newspaper, celebrating Newcastle's 17-0 win over Wolves. I mean, what's not to love?
I hope so. I certainly hope so, because my word, we could do with a win. We haven't had a win since Chelsea. It's just mad. It's almost like that. It's not quite like that lad who grew his hair for Man United's 5 games in a row. But yeah, no, Champions League. How can you not be excited? I mean, from the kind of tourist aspect, it's not overly inspiring, but from a competitive standpoint, we want to progress this time. It's not just like I mentioned a few weeks ago. We're not all starry-eyed this time. Like second time round in the Carabao Cup final, we were there to win the thing, not just say, "Oh, we're back! Isn't this great?" And I think this is very much the case this time around. And I think looking at those fixtures, we have a great chance to progress,
Which is what it's all about. And it's quite the game to kick off the campaign. Barcelona under the lights at St James's Park. Obviously, everyone remembers that 3-2 victory with Tino Asprilla getting his hat-trick. We've played them a few times since then, but that is the memory that lasts for everybody. And what are you expecting from that opening game?
Initial thoughts, I'm disappointed it's not on the Wednesday, because I have a feeling that that would have been the exact anniversary of the 3-2, wouldn't it? Was that not on the 17th of September?
You are correct.
In '97. So I'm disappointed it's Thursday the 18th. But yeah, what a game. To bring Barcelona back to see some of, I mean, Lamine Yamal at St James's Park. This is going to be a guy that's going to go on and win Ballon d'Ors and win pretty much everything under the sun. He's won he's won a lot already, and he's a baby in football terms. Do you know what excites me the most about that Barcelona game?
Go on.
Midfield.
Our
Wow.
midfield or their midfield?
Both. What a battle. Our midfield, their midfield. Obviously, we know about our midfield, but against the likes of Pedri and Frankie de Jong, and I think Gavi's struggling a little bit, so there might be a bit of change there. But that's box office. That is box office football. It's well worth a subscription fee for a change. But yeah, that's going to be an incredible. And if you know, we can replicate the atmosphere a la PSG from 2 years ago, then it's going to be a night for the ages. Of course, we played them in 02-03 that season as well, but wasn't really the same, was it? And you go back actually, and whether you watch your old VHS of Flying High or just look at stats on Google or whatever, like it was nowhere near a sellout when we played Barca. What was it? Who scored for them that night? Clivert got one. Was it Saviola that got the other one?
Can't remember off memory. We had Shaw up front though, didn't we?
Was that at home? But obviously he got the goal in the new camp, because that it was just such a hit. It was such a topsy turvy campaign under Sir Bobby, with suspensions, with Bellamy and Shearer, and obviously two group phases that time around, of course, where we did unbelievably well to get out the first group stage after losing our first three games, obviously culminating in that memorable night in Rotterdam against Feyenoord. But yeah, obviously a lot of fun, but didn't generate the same atmospheres at St James's than it did against PSG, and that of course for the hat trick, Tino's hat trick against Barcelona. But I'm excited. It's one of those games that you've just got to be there. Um, Obviously, that brings a whole load of debates with ballots and hospitality packages, but that's for another day. It's just for the occasion. It's fantastic.
Well, we'll speak more about Barcelona later in the week, because there will be a preview to come. But Barcelona, PSG are the biggest threats, I think, from that fixture card. But it's not the worst, I don't think. And as you said, it is about progression. I actually think you take out PSG and take out Barcelona, then Newcastle will fancy themselves against every other side in that fixture list.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll speak a bit more about PSG later on, but I think the big kind of advantage for us is PSG is the final game. So you would hope at least we go into that game having already qualified, because we've got a couple of favourable games at home, some big games away as well, which will obviously come on to that we could potentially take points from. But yeah, when looking at this game, you're kind of torn between. So I was watching it with my son, who wants to win every game and just wants to win, 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 win. He doesn't see it from the same point of view as me, whereas like I want to go to Real Madrid and this, that, and the other. I think the only thing I didn't want was to get Dortmund and Paris again, because we've done that. Um, I mean, 7 out of 8 teams we got, we've been there, done that. But nevertheless, it could have been a more favourable draw. It's a tough draw, a very tough draw. I don't know how they come up with these fixtures with a supercomputer. Just UEFA going, yeah, it's a supercomputer, that's fine. Just trust us. It's all above, but just it's fine. Just go with it. And we were all just supposed to go, yeah, all right. So yeah, but yeah, Barcelona and PSG, the two. It could have been better. It could have been worse. I think the fact that we've got Barcelona at home is an advantage if you actually want to win the game. If you want to go for a nice couple of days, then probably the away games and the home games could have done with switching completely. But like I say, look, we're here to compete this time, and you know, we saw what Aston Villa did last season. Who, you know, we're like, we like to think we're a level above Villa, but we're in the same boat in terms of PSR hamstrung. So yeah, we have the potential. The squad, as we've discussed, is stronger than 2 seasons ago. So the fact that we've got Barcelona at home, who knows? It could be one of the most memorable nights in Newcastle history.
Well, that was going to be my next question. It's about the squad depth. Yeah, I've got a bigger squad, more talented squad, and the experience is there as well. It's going to be full of players who played 2 years ago, and the experiences of that campaign certainly will lend itself to this one to come. And they're going to need that because some of the weeks they've got coming up in terms of playing midweek and then playing the Premier League on the weekend, there's some really tough days to come for Newcastle United. So it's all going to be about using the squad as best they can, rotation, and tapping into that experience as well.
Yeah, this is why we've signed the players we've signed. This is why we signed the players we signed 2-3 years ago, as we've discussed. Hall, Livramento, they're 10 times the players they were when we first signed them, you know. Great to see Livramento get minutes for England. I think once Hall comes back in as well, he can stake his claim and make that left back spot his own for the national team. So yeah, I think Paris will be really tough. I don't think we'll get anything there because look, they're no longer Mbappe FC. And that's done them a world of good. I mean, 2 years ago, I thought Ousmane Dembele was the most overrated player in world football, but now he's got a bit of freedom playing down the middle again. He's probably going to win the Ballon d'Or. I think he's odds-on favourite to do so. So what a resurgence for Kelia, Desiree Doué, who I told you about years ago, but you don't listen to me. Just an incredible strength in depth of talent. I mean, yeah, unbelievable. I think Paris is going to be really, really tough this time. But hopefully, as I say, we go there not needing a result.
Fingers crossed. And then if we do need a result, the referee can do his job properly. But hey, we can live in
Would be
hope.
nice.
Away days, always special. I mean, I would really like to go to Belgium to see Union SG. I've talked a lot about Promise David. I can't wait to see him in the flesh. I think he's got a big future ahead of him. That would be quite the trip to do. The stadium itself is quite unique. I think one side, or at least the side where the fans are, isn't covered.
Are they playing there though?
Well, there's been a bit debate. I thought they were, but I've read things about
Anderlecht.
yeah, about a bit of a stadium change. But regardless, going to Belgium, no, I've been before. It would be good.
Yeah.
You're going to Germany, right?
Yeah. Just on yeah, I am, yes. It's all booked, and I'll go into that a bit more. But just again, yeah, just to touch on Union. If you're not aware, their stadium is smaller than Bournemouth's. Hence the conjecture about whether they play their European games there or not. So that's the confusion on it, whether they're playing at Anderlecht Stadium. But yeah, they've got a couple of good players. Their captain is English.
Just a Newcastle fan. There's a Newcastle fan within
So they've
their
got.
ranks.
I don't think it's the cap. They've got 2 English players in their squad. I think it's the non-captain that's the Newcastle fan. Their captain is from London, and they signed him from Portsmouth, Christian Burgess, who's in his mid-30s now or early 30s. So, and they've also got McAllister's. Well, they've got Kevin McAllister, who, from my understanding, is not the character from A Christmas Film, but that has airport issues, but is Alexis's brother, right?
Very funny.
No, he is Alexis
Is
McAllister's
he?
brother. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
but his name is Kevin.
Really?
Double
Oh.
check, although because I mean, I don't think I've pulled that out of my backside.
Well, I've just been checking about the stadium, and you are Correct. They will play at the Constant Verden Stock Stadium, also known as Lotto Park, for sponsorship reasons, and it is
Other
the
sports
home
manufacturers are available.
and it is the home of Anderlecht simply because Union SG Stadium didn't meet UEFA requirements. So there
But
you
yeah,
go.
because you just said there's 3 sides to it, and it it's got a total capacity of about 14.
Amazing that they qualify for the Champions League with facilities not to match. And I will look up the Alexa McAllister point of view as his brother.
Kevin,
Go on, continue anyway. Weird is just how special are they?
good. I mean, on the face of it, me and my wife had a genuine argument because I was a little bit disappointed, and I thought she'd kind of tipped off UEFA to like not send me to, or us to the east of Kazakhstan or Cyprus, just or like any warm weather. So 2 in France, 1 in Germany, 1 in Belgium. On the face of it, isn't overly inspiring from a kind of away day vibe kind of angle, but from, again, a results standpoint, there's potential to pick up points on the road, which is what you're going to have to do if you want to go straight into the last 16 or whatever, avoid that playoff to the top 8. Then you're going to have to pick up points on the road, which we have potential to do. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a balancing act. So when we discussed the what your strongest team is last week or whatever, that's not going to really ever going to happen, other than maybe Barca and PSG, because there's Premier League to balance. There's a Carabao Cup defence as well, and obviously it goes into the end of January now, this group stage, with the extra 2 matches, so you'll have FA Cup to balance as well, hopefully. So yeah, it's going to be very, very tricky indeed. But can you confirm Kevin McAllister of Union Sangalwa is the brother of Alexis McAllister of Liverpool?
He is 27 years of age, played 70 times for Union SG, and he is indeed the brother of the Liverpool midfielder. There's another one as well, Francis. I mean, we're getting into it here, who currently plays for Instituto. He's on loan from Argentinos Juniors. So there you go, 29-year-old
I think you find if
midfielder.
you've seen the films, there are about 12 of them. That's why they cause so much confusion at the check-in gate.
Very good, very good. Yes, but I mean, look, you're right about the opportunity to pick up points on the road. And do you think that mind shift's easy for Newcastle anyhow? Obviously, last time, and I guess Newcastle fans as well. Last time it was a bit more probably about the experience, even though footballers wouldn't want to admit that, but fans probably a little bit more easy to admit that actually it was about the experience of going to these cities and these stadiums, whereas now it is very much about we want to compete. We've said about the
Yeah.
squad depth. We think they've got the players to compete. Is the mindset there to do it as well?
Again, yeah, I think it is now with the squad. And you're right. 2 years ago, we had a great time in Dortmund, but we were never ever competitive in that match whatsoever. We were awful. We had that injury crisis as well. So Livramento was playing right wing, as we mentioned last week as well. Lewis Hall got hooked at half time. He had an absolute stinker. But yeah, it was a great time. So it's that balancing act again. Like I say, that the away games aren't overly inspiring this time in terms of a fun away day. We've not got to go to Almaty, where we researched the route, didn't we? Which is minutes of research down the toilet. We don't get to go to Cyprus, unfortunately, because wearing a t-shirt in December would be great. Or we've got Benfica at home and not away, which is annoying because I ruddy love Portugal. But again, this is not about holidays for fans. It's about qualification, progressing. The big games will come the further you progress. We've got some big games in there, some nice games in there, and we can be really competitive because I look at our squad, I look at the squads of the teams we face. And obviously I'm slightly biased, of course we are, but I see a lot more strength in depth in our squad than I do in our opponents.
Yep. Yep, I can totally agree with you on that point. I think that midfield, Newcastle's is absolutely key if everyone's fit. But again, it goes back to the squad depth. The rotation is going to be absolutely crucial. I mean, Jacob Ramsey had a very good campaign for Villa last season in the Champions League. And if he can do that for Newcastle, then everyone's a winner. And yeah, they are very winnable fixtures. Like we say, PSG, Barca aside. But then look, Newcastle United showed 2 years ago that they can take on PSG both home and away and push them extremely close. So there's no reason to fear anybody really. You've got to respect them, but not bow down to them. And if Newcastle United switched on under the lights here against Barcelona, there's no reason why they can't come out with a result. So it's going to
The
be an
problem is
exciting
though,
campaign.
Andrew, that yes, it's all right doing it for the big games, but Dortmund at home, Milan at home, we lost at St James's Park when we really should have won both games, and we've come away with nothing, and that was the difference in the end. Not just the refereeing at PSG, but our failure to hit the onion bag against Dortmund after hitting the post and the crossbar how many times, and then letting a lead slip, and bottling it against Milan at home. So it's not but the Barcelona game that's where qualification is going to be won and lost. It's going to be can we be comprehensive, and can we do the business against Benfica, against PSV Eindhoven, against Athletic Bilbao. Those are where qualification will be won and lost.
Yeah, and to answer your question, they've got to be. They've got to be ruthful. They've got to be ruthless. I can't say the word. They've got to be clinical in what they do. They've got to beat these
Ruthless.
sides. That's it. Ruthless. Thank you. Couldn't get my words out. If they are serious about progressing, then yeah, they've got to be beating the sides that we believe they can do and should do with the squad and talent they've got. And fingers crossed they can. But it's so exciting to be back in the Champions League, to hear that music. That first game, as we say, against Barcelona on Thursday is going to be something special. Can't wait for the build-up, for the visiting fans, and hopefully for 3 points for Newcastle United. Sam, prediction time. They're going to get through the next round?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, with it being a new format, we've not got a big sample size of research to go on. I mean, last season, 16 points got you top 8. So, and then 11 points got you in the top 24, but 11 points also, I think it was, well, I know it was because I've done my research. Dinamo Zagreb got 11 points and missed out due to their poor goal difference. So 11, let's say 12 points, 4 wins to get through. I don't see why that can't be the case. I mean, the good thing is the teams from pot one that we mentioned, Barca and PSG, they bookend our fixture list. So the real nooks and crooks are in the middle. And if we can get anything from the Barca game, we then go to Belgium. If it's the weakest team that we face, really. So the fact that it's away is a positive in some sense, because it's our best chance of getting a win on the road. And then you've got back-to-back home games against Benfica, who are a very good side. Do they have a very good squad? No. They've obviously got some very good players. Trubin, their goalkeeper, who I mentioned in the summer when we did our 3 transfer targets. He's one for me. Antonio Silva, who's been touted around, still hasn't got his big move, his centre half. Their captain is Otamendi, of course, formerly of Man City fame. He's obviously seen better days. Bilbao will be a great occasion, of course. Got a fantastic little relationship with that side. And Unai Simon, fantastic goalkeeper, one of Europe's top goalkeepers. Williams brothers as well. I mean, how they've kept Nico Williams, well, I do know how, by paying him a lot of money, but the fact that he could easily get into a Barcelona or whoever around Europe, and then going to Marseille, who we owe one to. We don't forget. No Drogba this time. It's in the form of Neil Maupay and Aubameyang. So we've got nothing really to fear there going to Marseille. They've got Matt O'Reilly, it was a very shrewd loan acquisition from Brighton. I don't quite know what's happened there. why Brighton were so keen to let him go. I know it's only on loan, but I find that a bit baffling. They've also got Benjamin Pavard in on loan from Inter Milan, who I think is a ridiculously good signing. Pierre Højbjerg as well in the middle of the park, formerly of Spurs and Southampton. So there's no strangers really in that Marseille side. I could see us going there, getting something. As you mentioned, yeah, I'm going to Leverkusen. Just because it was the most attractive proposition out of the 4 away games. Loved my time in Dortmund. There's so much right with German football. I adore it. I love the Bundesliga. I probably watch more sort of like away from Newcastle matches. I probably watch more Bundesliga than I do Premier League these days. Leverkusen, you could say there's potential to get something there because they've had such a kind of turnover in players and manager. Ten Hag sacked after 2 games. They've lost a lot of players. Of course, Florian Wirtz, Tar, they've all gone, but they've still got a stacked squad. You know, whoever plays right back that night, whether it's Trippier or Livramento, has really got their hands full with Grimaldo. He just makes everything tick. He's fantastic at left wing back. Patrick Schick up front. Tap Sober at the back. They've got Echeverri on loan from City. Wilson Palacios, not Wilson Palacios. Wilson Palacios was the one that used to play for Wigan.
Spurs
But
and Wigan, yeah.
yeah, and I think he had a stint at the Britannia at Stoke as well. But they got Palacios in the middle of the park as well. Martin Terrier, who I was a big fan of, on the wing or in the centre. Andrich as well. Their squad's really, really good, you know. And whoever they get in as manager, that's going to be a real tough game. PSV, that must win at home, must win, and that's all before we go to Paris as well. PSV have got a few household names, but nothing really to make you worry. So I'd like to think there's 4 wins in there. I would like to think.
Fingers crossed, because I'd love to get to the next stage. I think that would just really be a sign of how far Eddie Howe's brought this squad. You know, to get to the next round of the Champions League would be unbelievable. And we say there's winnable games. There is, of course, and Newcastle have a better squad than a lot of those teams have been drawn against. But as you've made the point there, you know, these teams are still threatening, still dangerous. Newcastle have to be at their very best and not just think it's a foregone conclusion, which I don't think they will, because I think every team that they face is definitely one that they know they have to compete against to get the victory. But it's just very, very exciting, and I can't wait for it to begin. So Sam, thank you very much for popping on and providing a little sneaky overall preview of Champions League. We'll be back on Tuesday potentially. I haven't even asked you, but I'm assuming we'll be back.
Yeah, I am free at the start of next week. I'm back down Portsmouth covering the darts at the end of next week. So yes, it's going to have to be something like that.
There we go. Perfect. Well, we'll see Sam on Tuesday to talk something about Newcastle United. Most likely, a sneaky little look towards maybe Barcelona amongst other stuff. But in the meantime, Sam, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. To you guys watching and listening, enjoy what's left of the weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. Leave us a rating and review. Leave us a comment. Hit thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Click the link in the podcast description box for your NORD VPN subscription. Perfect if you are indeed lucky enough to be traveling away, watching Newcastle United in one of these many destinations. You can sign up and be protected while surfing online. Surfing? Do you surf these days? There you go. Anyway, NORD VPN. Click the link in the podcast description box. For myself and Sam, we'll see you on Tuesday.